Do we like it?
Yeah. I'm Darren.
I'm Chuck.
And together we are Computer Games, and we didn't prepare what we're going to do right now.
But we're gonna do it.
The song's called Lost Boys Life.
We'll do Lost Boys Life.
2, 3, 4.
Every night in a different bed, the ceilings look the same. Every light leaves a memory. I swear they're tracing out your name. A couple 100 miles from somewhere, and another couple more to go. Ask me what I remember, I'll say I really don't know. I was living a lonely life until I fell for you. I was living a lost boy's life, it was all I ever knew. And every morning the sun comes up and the darkness fades away. I was living a lost boy's life, it was all you had to say. It was all you had to say. Looking back, it was black and white. The picture couldn't fade. Think about all the words we said and everything we made. So go ahead, take a photograph, take whatever time will allow. Thank you for all the good old days that are happening right now. I was living a lonely life until I fell for you. I was living a lost boy's life, it was all I ever knew. And every morning the sun comes up and the darkness fades away. I was living a lost boy's life, it was all you had to say. It was all you had to say. I was living a lonely life until I fell for you. I was living a lost boy's life, it was all I ever knew. And every morning the sun comes up and the darkness fades away. I was living a lost boy's life, it was all you had to say. It was all you had to say. It was all you had to say. It was all you had to say.
We fucked up a few things.
You know, good first.
Yeah, that was a nice rehearsal. I hope we weren't filming that. We shouldn't
It's
put that
actually
on the
completely
internet.
live.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Damn it.
Let's
Oops. Yeah.
That sounded awesome.
Thank you.
Thank you for that uncanned applause.
It was a really great song. So, like, I've been listening to Lost Boys Life basically all day just to prepare for the interview.
All day?
All day. It's
Oh,
like,
man.
just on repeat. Along with,
I'd be going cuckoo crazy pants if I listened to it all day.
I haven't listened to it enough if I don't know all the lyrics, so I haven't listened to it enough.
Well, thank you, Kaya.
Thanks.
Just
Really
just
nice.
keep at it. You'll learn it.
Yeah.
You'll learn one day.
Yeah, I'm
Yep.
trying to learn all of it so I can join you guys on tour at some point, but not for a while. But that's anyways. So
We should do that. We should start listening to our songs so we can learn them.
yeah.
You've been doing what we should have been doing
Yeah,
all day.
I'm just here to kind of help you guys be better at your job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You're doing a very good job at that job.
So far.
So far, so good.
So this is computer games. Darren, Chris, and Chuck Chris, together brothers. They're actually related, so that's real. So how are you guys?
We're good.
Good.
We're good.
Yeah.
Is that in contention? Is there like thought? Is there speculation that we're not actually?
I don't know. I
brothers?
feel like whenever I introduce people with the same last names, people are like, "Are they related?" And I just want to make sure there is no confusion.
Maybe we should start some like conspiracy beef of
Yeah.
like.
Yeah. We actually used to
We're
be
not actually
married.
brothers. Yeah, it's weird.
Yeah, my
I'm
last
pregnant.
my last name's Jones.
Yeah.
And we got married. I changed
Yeah.
it to Chris.
And so it's a whole weird
Yeah.
thing where
But
Yeah.
no,
Yeah.
we're actually brothers.
we're actually brothers. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was really complicated.
That was a very long conspiracy
Yeah.
theory.
Yeah.
But
Yeah, that didn't go as well as I thought it would. But we're good. Yeah, we're just just promoting this tiny little EP we put out.
yeah,
This only has 3 songs on it. 4 songs technically, but 3
yeah, the demo song.
new songs, a demo song. Yeah, we're seeing how it does out there in the big bad internet. And apparently we're doing very well in Taiwan. Shout out to my homies in Taipei.
I've never been, but now we should definitely go.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've been to the airport. Maybe that's
Yeah.
where that's probably why I
You
probably
can
made a
just-
really good impression when I
You
was
can
at
just
the
have like a
airport.
concert in the airport
In
for
the airport,
everybody.
it'd be
Yeah,
great.
that's it, yeah.
Yeah.
Impromptu concert.
I'm sure that's what people want to hear. These songs.
So I wanted to ask, why did you guys call it computer games?
There's a couple reasons.
Yeah.
Firstly, we just love the name, and we have a personal connection to computer games because I guess the go-to story is the fact that we weren't allowed to play video games as kids, even though we did eventually. But like there was a big chunk where video games were no-no, so computer games was like this little loophole
Yeah.
where we could play things on a computer. So if there were, because there'd be video games that would come out, and if they had like a PC or Mac version,
Yeah, you
actually if they
just-
had a Mac
you
version,
just get that.
and
Okay.
then it'd be fine. But there's a lot of different tie-ins for what that means. We like the idea that it's the computer games are how we communicate now. It's sort of like this is literally like, Netta, you're on your computer. Yeah.
So, yeah.
So I mean, between Facebook and now this and now this.
She's really getting meta here. Yeah.
Yeah, it's all computer games, and if we played like SimCity and Oregon Trail or whatever games we played as kids, if those were our creative, fun toys as kids, those games and programs evolved into what would become Logic and Ableton and Pro Tools and music software. So the music you're hearing are quite literally computer games. So. Yeah, it's got a lot of fun times, and it's nostalgic. We have our music has a sort of nostalgic bent to it, so it's all encompassing.
So basically what you're saying is if you play computer games, you too can be successful musicians?
Yeah,
Yeah, okay,
ideally.
cool. Yeah,
Yeah,
right.
but I like the idea that it's games. It's like fun.
Yeah.
Like we kind of refer to ourselves. I'm player 2, Chuck is player 1. Like if you're listening to the music and if you're partaking in the computer games thing, like we're all playing computer games. You are literally, if you listen to our music, you're literally playing computer games. So there's a lot of tie-in things that we liked about it. So it's a few of them.
So growing up, you guys weren't allowed to play video games like right away or whatever. But like, what are some of the games that you guys liked playing other than like obviously SimCity, which I play too, which is very addicting.
SimCity was amazing. We did Oregon Trail. We got really big into the LucasArts games.
Yeah.
There was like Rebel Assault.
Rest in peace, LucasArts.
Yeah.
Rebel Assault, Full Throttle,
Dark Forces. Sam and Max.
Sam and Max, Day of the Tentacle.
Yeah.
A lot of RPGs. You know what game was fucking great was The Incredible Machine. The Incredible Machine was
Yeah.
basically like, what's the name?
The Rube Goldberg machines.
Yeah, the Rube Goldberg machines.
You
So
design them.
you have to like figure out how to get the balloon into the basket attached to the ceiling, and it's sort of like a problem-solving puzzle thing. I love puzzle games, so that was fun. Yeah.
Meanwhile, I played like RuneScape and Sims
Oh,
and
nice.
SimCity and
Sims was later, I guess.
Yeah, Sims was later, but like I wasn't allowed to play. Well, I wasn't allowed. I just didn't have video games until I was like 13 or whatever, and I used to just play on the computer because that's all you have.
Yeah.
You find whatever you can online and you play dress-up games.
I think a lot of the games that like people would play like Doom and a lot of like the violent games. I actually was terrified of those. I didn't really like those games. I didn't like shoot 'em ups. Like shoot 'em ups are fine if they were Stormtrooper. If they were like fucking like blood sucking demons, that was terrifying. But if they're like a Stormtrooper, it was like, you know, it's all right, you're fine. You're just a dude in a white suit. But we know it's games I love. I got into StarCraft and like Warcraft later on. Those are good games.
World of Warcraft.
Yeah.
No, I stayed away from that just because everyone said it was so addicting, and I wasn't trying to.
Yeah, you see it happening. You're like, I can't do this.
Yeah.
I don't really play video games much anymore, but I love video games. Like I watch video games like I watch films. Like I enjoy seeing the new game and watching it and seeing how the narrative plays out and seeing like the art and design, because video games nowadays are just so breathtaking.
Yeah.
I think what you said before, I think the addiction to like doing a computer game kind of translated for us into music software, and then all of a sudden we were spending way too many hours
like playing music is
that.
like you beep bop boop boop playing this, recording stuff, like miking stuff, like that's fun. Like
but there's still like boss levels within music, and there's challenges and things
you have to overcome.
I just can't beat this one boss.
I can't figure out how to get this snare to sound less like pingy.
Yeah.
Like, and how do you mix that, and how do you mic this, and it's the same challenges. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So, like, when you guys were making the bands, like, I know you were in a band before Freelance Whales, and then did you guys have, like, inspirations or anything that you look forward to how to make your sound?
Not directly, I think. But
nothing direct. I think it was more informed by, because we've been passing songs back and forth to each other since the age of time that we've known, a long time. And
the age of time.
And then
this is the age.
I think it was like with that song Every Single Night, which is kind of the single we're leading with. That was where we got really excited about it and really worked on it, and then we kind of realized we can kind of build around that because it was like some of the more new songs we had worked on, and so I think that's where it came from. But there's been so many songs that have passed back and forth. But
I guess to answer your question as far as inspirations that we had, I mean, it's always a tricky question. People always ask musicians, like, what are your inspirations? Which isn't a bad question, but they are invariably going to be different from the way you sound. It's like, Metallica is inspired by like everything they ever listened to as a kid. So that includes Mozart, Beethoven, Gershwin, and obviously rock and roll. But like, it's all part of inspiration. Like, my inspirations are everything, like I grew up as a classical violinist. So it's like, even though I'm not cutting Mozart tracks, like I'm thinking melodically, subconsciously via those influences. So there are people we really like, and there are things that when you're in the studio and you're recording something like Every Single Night, you start going, God, this at its best would sound like X, Y, and Z. And so the X, Y, and Z will include Phil Collins, Miami Sound Machine, Lionel Richie. And so we go, let's take as much from that as possible and use that. But we didn't sit down going, let's make an early 90s, late 80s dance record. Like, it's not the goal. You just kind of lay a song down at its bare bones. It's like building like a house. You have like a foundation, and then you kind of go, okay, like, it would be cool if we do this, but then all of a sudden you start realizing, you know what, maybe it's better if we do this. This actually seems to fit this better, and it's this house of cards that kind of leaves clues as to what the next thing is. Like, if you had told me that we were going to make kind of this sort of early 90s nostalgia record, I would have been like surprised. Like, I wouldn't have seen that coming, but it just kind of would happen naturally.
Yeah. So like, if it's its own original sound, would you describe it as like an early 90s nostalgia album? Like, how would you describe the sound to people who don't know it?
I think it harkens those sounds, and we play with those sounds in a really loving way, in a very unapologetic way. But I don't know. I don't know. I mean,
I mean, for this EP, yeah, that's correct. I mean, those are where, it's like you said before, with getting inspired, and that we just sat down. It's like, what the record we should make? We're gonna do this '80s record, and it's gonna be great, Darren.
Yeah,
it was more just like that. Just happened. That's what came out. Maybe part of that was just because it is a nostalgic record for us, because we were basically hearkening back
when we were kids.
Childhood things, and the type of music it kind of evokes things that were on the radio when we were kids, but we weren't actively listening to, but we're just kind of in the ether. So I think probably part of that kind of bled into it, just once it became a little more like, all right, this is the Chuck and Darren project.
But if someone said, "Oh, what's your sound? Oh, you guys sound like Miami Sound Machine," I'd be like, "Sweet!" Like I wouldn't be mad at that. Like if our Pandora station comes up and Gloria Estefan comes on after us, like that'd be great.
That's when you made it.
I'm
Yeah.
cool. I'm totally cool with that. Yeah.
So, like, how far do you guys see this band going? Like, what do you want for the band to, like, aspire to?
Well, Chuck and I have been trying to do something together musically forever, and we didn't really know in what capacity, if it was going to be a band, if it was just going to be, like, me as Darren, Chris, and then Chuck would kind of write songs and produce with me. It's still kind of a little bit of both. I mean, I still have a whole, like, case of songs, like just a shitload of them sitting there, and we're deciding, okay, well, is this going to be my own thing one day? Do we make them computer games things? We're sort of figuring it out. I think what's nice about, this grassroots thing that we have going on with being an indie band is we can find out very quickly how people are reacting thanks to things like this with NowThis and seeing how the internet feels and how we can geolocate where things are doing well. We were talking about Taipei earlier, but that's an amazing piece of information to understand how parts of the world are reacting to stuff and then sort of take what people are into and really follow suit and whether it is a tour in certain places, whether it's making a full length. But being an independent artist now is really cool because it's an entirely democratic process. So we don't have like a bunch of, suits leering down on us, like telling us what they think is best. Like we kind of can see it as a group in real time and take the appropriate steps. So we don't know. I mean, we'd like for it to keep going. We'd like to make a full-length album. We'd like to tour. But,
I just want to be big in Taipei.
Yeah, we're peaking. We're just going to keep building the brand out
Yeah.
in Taiwan, and then just like be the kings of rock and roll in Taiwan.
Yeah, that's fine. You can just like move over to Taiwan and record the whole album there, only release it there, and then everyone in America will be jealous, and then that's how you can come back and be famous there.
Hey, that's not an unheard of equation. A lot of people have done that before, except it wasn't Taiwan. But we could be the first.
Yeah. There you go. And then, so like, where can people find your music? Because like, I've been listening to it on Spotify all day, but like, if anyone else wants to go find it all.
You can find it on iTunes. You can buy it on iTunes if you still do that, or iTunes Music on Spotify, on ask Mother Internet,
Everywhere.
she shall provide.
Yeah, cool. Okay, so you guys think you can perform like one more song?
Yeah, we'll do our damnedest. Give it the old college try.
Yes.
Okay. Cool.
We're a little short-staffed because it's Chuck and I are the kind of creative front as far as the writing and half of the producing. The other half of the producing is with this group, the 11, who are amazing. And they made this record sound really incredible. So shout out to them. But the band itself are a lot of our friends from New York and from Michigan, where I went to college. So they fill out things a little more. It's harder to play because the songs are these huge tracks, which wasn't something I ever thought we would do because we come from more of a band world where if you ask us to play a song, 2 guitars, we can totally do it. That's how my brain used to work. But then we kind of turned a corner after you doing all your stuff with the Whales and me doing whatever stuff on my own. We're just like, fuck it, life's too short. Let's just have like the chunkiest, biggest, funnest records possible.
Yeah.
So there's a tax to that because when you show up as a band, sometimes you're like, well, we need like all these other elements and stuff. But we'll do our best. Yes, we'll do our
if
best.
it's like half as good as the first song, I think it's going to be amazing anyway. But I'm biased. So.
Let's just
appreciate
keep
that.
thinking positively. Let's
Okay,
go for
great.
I
it.
like this positive support.
Yes.
You,
All right.
you could definitely come on tour with us.
Great.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So this song, because we're a little short-staffed, because we're only 2 guitar parts, which usually would be more dynamic because we have other bandmates that fill out this particular song. But like I said, this is an exclusively marginal performance. It's exclusive. So this song's called We Like It, and we'll see how it sounds with just 2 acoustic guitars. Okay, cool. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1.
Hey, have you been looking at the latest thing in front of me? I need an answer now for my health. Make it everything I ever said I wanna be. I wanna hide the me from myself, but oh, what a wonderful I just heard there was a timer on mortality. I want a life that won't disappear. But oh, what a wonderful time to be losing attention. Now I will always be fine as long as I get a mention. Then I can let it all go. Hey, who cares if we like it? We love it all. We love it. Oh, what's it to you if we like it? 'Cause we like it. We love it all. We love it all. How long can we draw this out? How long will we be alive? Now I know, now that I said it, I know I won't regret it. No, now that I said it, I know I won't regret it. No, now that I said it, I know I won't regret it. No, now that I said it, just want you to know, hey, who cares if we like it? We love it all. We love it. Oh, what's it to you if we like it? 'Cause we like it. Yeah, we love it all. Hey, who cares if we like it? We love it all. We love it. Oh, what's it to you if we like it? 'Cause we like it. We love it all. Yeah, we love it all. Hey, 'cause we like it.
Almost. Almost. Yeah. That was We Like It off our EP Lost Boys Life on the internet now.
Thanks, guys. Exit, right?
I like that you
Yeah.
were so
Yeah.
unsure that you wanted to put as much feeling into it as possible.
Yeah.
But that was not a plastic penis. That was
Oh, thank you. Oh my God, thank you so much.
Summer